Developers. Got a little spit in the air. Welcome friends to this episode where I'm going to be sharing some tips and tricks on learning to code. You don't have to like all of these tips, but hopefully you'll find a few of them useful. I would love if you put your resources in the comments below and let's get a conversation going. I'm going to cover 4 categories in the video. So first of all, find a friend to code. Second is establish some goals. Third, find some resources. And 4, share your progress by creating a feedback loop, and that way you stay inspired and continue to achieve your goals. This video, we're going to be talking about more of a self-directed approach. You can go to classrooms and go to school. That is perfectly okay. Just depends on how you want to do it. In this case, what I'm doing is learning self-teaching because I'm doing it in my free time. This is all completely free and fun to do. So first of all, I would recommend finding someone with similar goals, someone with the same starting place. So if you're a beginner, find another beginner. It's going to be hard to stay connected with somebody that's much further ahead of you than your journey. And 2, someone that is committed to the same amount of time investment. If you want to do an hour a day, make sure you find someone that is that committed. It's just like running a marathon. You both want to stay on the same training path. So first thing I would recommend is try to find somebody in person. And I do that by going to meetup.com. I have a meetup that I run every other week. And basically it's very simple. It's learn, do, teach, or learn, do, share. And what I do is everything I learn in a couple weeks, I go to a meetup and I share it with anybody and everybody, and it's very supportive, very inspiring, and we help each other out. But if you don't want to do that, you can easily go find a meetup. I would recommend try to find one that's every week. That way it'll keep you on track and keep you on task. A couple other resources. One is Eventbrite, works very similar to Meetup. It's great. It has tons and tons of events. One thing is I haven't found as many recurring. So that's where I prefer the Meetup, as I found lots of recurring. And the next one is a tech calendar. This is similar to previously we had Usergroups. And tech calendar is just find one in your local area. People post that on for free. It's a great way to find local events as well. The next thing that you can try is, let's say your schedule conflicts, maybe you travel, maybe you can't make it on a certain day. That's where you can go and find some sessions virtually. And this is a great tool to have even if you are meeting in person. For example, one of the meetups I go to, they have a Slack channel. A lot of places at work collaborate with Slack. It's a great way to stay in touch. If you have running into a problem, post your question on there and people will answer it. The next one is Discord, which is almost the same as Slack. The only difference is it's completely free. There's no limitations, and it was initially made for gamers, but a lot of coders are out there. So for example, find some of your favorite teachers. Coding Garden with CJ, he's a full stack developer. He's absolutely great to follow. Syntax, he is awesome with Python, machine learning. He's another great one. And then I created one of my own, and this was a great one if you want to start a little bit of your own friends and community as well. Another one on the virtual side, a new way, if you can't go in person and say you're away, and the Slack and the Discord is great, but what I am looking for is similar to if you are in person, but have that virtual. So think of it as a collaborative hangout. So what I'm trying right now is called CodeBuddies, and what they offer are some hangouts where you just go and share your screen and solve a problem together, and you can schedule it ahead of time. And that way people can jump on. You could start your own, or you could join someone else's based on any topic. So let me know if you used this before. Okay, the next couple things is consider is choose the same goal. I talked a little bit about this earlier, but choose the same goals together. So for example, what language do you want to learn and why? So an example for me, I chose a couple. I chose JavaScript because it is very common in web development. So especially if you're looking to get a job in coding, web development has the lion's share of jobs. With JavaScript, you can work on the front end and the back end, and you get a ton of experience in a lot of places. So that's why I enjoy JavaScript. The other language that I really like is Python, and Python is great for if you love math problems or crunching algorithms and machine learning. And it's really common. It's one of the easier languages to pick up. There's a ton of community and support around it. So those are the 2 languages that I chose to learn. You can pick, there's tons of them out there, whatever your preference. The next thing is to consider what are some goals. One good example is 100 days of coding. So here's the site. It's a very simple concept. Basically, you just tweet every single day for 100 days of a little bit about what you worked on. And you work on coding for 1 hour a day, and then tweet your progress. And this gives you and your community accountability of what you're doing. So it gives you kind of a curriculum to work on. And you can extend this. So if 100 days is not enough, maybe you continue that goal until you either get a job or finish the project you're working on. It's a great way just to keep your daily progress momentum going. The next one I'll caution everyone, I believe we've all done this, is we go to YouTube and we find tutorials, but what we get stuck is what I call tutorial purgatory. And that's basically you get in a loop where you're just listening to the same thing over and over and over, but you're not learning on how it works because you're not doing it and you're not solving it yourself. So I would recommend to wait on tutorials, and I'll talk a little bit how they're helpful. But first jump in, find some interactive sites. So here's a few of my favorites. The first one is called Scratch, and this is built by MIT. And there's a few areas for programming. What Scratch does is it gives you the design elements, like what's it gonna look like? How is it organized? How do we put this together? And the logic, that's how does it work? So for example, it tells you, do you need an if function? Do you need to click a button? How does it move? Where does it go? This is great. So it has tons of different puzzles. It's very graphical and visual to help you out here. And you can see here, you click on play and you can interact with it. Once you have kind of played with that some, then you can learn your coding. One of my favorites is Free Code Camp. This is a great way to follow the 100 days of code. So if you look at their site, there's about 1,800 of these challenges. So it could take you a better part of a year to get through this. But you can work on it every single day. And basically it takes about 1 minute per challenge. So you go into the challenge, it gives you a description, and then you write the code and test against it. And then it gives you a small step-by-step entry. And it's a low barrier to entry, so you don't get frustrated. You feel like you have some wins and you gain momentum, and then it grows and gets more challenging. If you ever get stuck, there's hints. And if you're also a visual person, it's great because they give you video tutorials that help you walk you through. And it's all free. So I love this site. As far as get your syntax correct, I'd highly recommend it. Maybe you have some others, put those in the comments. All right, and the next one is called Code Wars. This one is basically a bunch of small puzzles. What you can do is you could sort by difficulty, 8 being the lowest. Go in here, open up a puzzle, and it'll give you the description, and then you can write your code against it and test it. It doesn't take a lot of time, but it is a little bit more challenging. So I love using Code Wars. Now, after you've done some interactive sessions, what I love about the YouTube, and this is why I'm teaching, is to give you some more ideas of different ways to try different things, maybe new ideas to give you a new angle. So that's where I love YouTube, is you can go there, find some of your favorite teachers, see what they're doing, what tools they're using. And then plus there's plenty of other free courses out there like Udacity. I have great courses on Lynda. So I don't want to discredit those are great, but I do encourage you get hands-on and actually do the exercises. Okay, and then last one to wrap it up is the 100 days of code. So with 100 days of code, it's a great way to keep you accountable. It's a great way to share and get support on Twitter. Basically, you just tag 100 days of code on Twitter or whatever you worked on for 60 minutes of the day, and you'll see other people interactive. You can go follow this hashtag and just see what everybody else is doing. It's a great way to stay connected and stay motivated. Create a feedback loop so you continue to go every single day. All right, that's gonna wrap it up for this video. I would love to hear your thoughts, or maybe you have some other tips. Hopefully you got some good tips from this video. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.